Sit up. Oh, this guy.
What?
Go back to your camera. All right, sit up regular. Don't make that face.
Fuck you.
Every time you make that stupid face.
Inconsistent.
I want to know. Let me know when you're emotionally available.
I'm trying to think. How do we start this?
Honestly, it's a tough thing to start.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of things have already been said. So it's more about what our interpretation or our reaction towards it, which is what the listener, if they care,
whoever
you are, it's about, you know, our individual perspective of it. Like, we're not breaking news, you know what I mean?
We're breaking people. This is the first time people are hearing this. They're like, what? He died?
Maybe in Uganda.
I like Charlie Kirk. The stuff he said, I was like, okay, he's pretty good. I don't agree with everything he said, obviously. But for the most part, I was like, he's a nice guy. He always gave people the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? And he matched people's energy. Every time I watch a video, if somebody got added to him, he would just get added to it back. But if they were nice, he would be nice to them. You know? And I think that was a product of him talking to so many people on his... they would like come to the mic and ask questions. So he treated each person like an individual instead of saying, all right, all of you guys are liberals, so I don't like you guys, so I'm going to start it off there. He never did that. He always like met people where they were at. You know? I watched one video where he was talking to a woman, and I think she was like transitioning or she was like experimenting. But she was like super nice talking to him. So because he was super nice talking, he was being nice to her. And he was, one of the things he said, he was like, I don't remember exactly how it goes, but he was like, my prayer for you is that you feel comfortable in your own body. And I was like, that's nice. Whether you disagree with her or not, that's nice to say to somebody. You know what I'm saying?
So, you know how they say martyrs, that all you do is elevate that person's voice when they die? Is that the result of this?
That he's gonna be, I think so.
Feel like it's gonna happen,
So
because more people are posting and stuff. Like I'm scrolling, and maybe because he's just news right now, but I feel like he's popped up more than anything else.
if it's true that he led a lot of youth into the conservative mindset or movement, or if that's true, by killing him, are those young males, I guess maybe mostly males, are they more, what happens to their mindset? Are they enraged? Do they become radical on this side?
Yeah.
You know, do they become shooters? You know,
I think that's gonna spawn a lot of people feeling more comfortable expressing themselves. You know what I mean? People are gonna feel more comfortable expressing themselves.
are they, after seeing someone get murked?
Yeah, I mean they're doing it now. Like I said, every time I'm scrolling, more people are coming out. I've been seeing a lot of this. I used to be either liberal or on the fence, but now I see how you guys are, and I'm, and I see what they're talking about when they say that you guys always. He's like, you're burning down cities, you're shooting people. He's like, you guys are not for the conversation. You guys are not for civil society.
In your people bubble, are they talking about Charlie Kirk more?
I've seen people say this is inhumane. I've seen people laugh at it.
Okay.
That's a lot. You see that a lot too. People like laughing, making fun.
People laughing. On the laughing part, I was on my drive over here. I was watching.
I don't use that word lightly.
Yeah, I was watching. And after PBD went in on this whole thing about TMZ, because TMZ does everything live.
Yeah.
There are cameras everywhere. Their whole thing is bust the cap. Like, we caught you.
Yeah.
Hold yourself accountable to, we got you. You know what I mean? They're always rolling up on people. So during the announcement that he was dead, people were cheering in the background.
Yeah, you can hear it in the background. I saw that. Yeah.
So he later on came on and said that Harvey and the other guy came on and said that they were watching a police chase in some place, and PBD went in and was like, okay, this place at this time, okay, let's watch the police chase. and there's nothing exciting about the police chase.
Not something somebody could cheer.
Not so, and it was cheering specifically, right?
Yeah.
They was like, oh, they were laughing at the. So there's nothing to cheer about a car chase, number one, much less laugh about a car chase, number two. And the only thing that is being said during that time frame is, oh, while they're covering, the newscast is covering the police chase, the announcer says, oh, it was just confirmed that Charlie Kirk has just passed away.
So they mentioned it.
So
even if they were monitoring it,
even if they were watching the police chase, the only thing that was spoken in the police chase by the news teleprompter was Charlie Kirk died.
Yeah. I think that's sad when people. Somebody always loves, even somebody you hate the most, like Hitler. He was a person that loved dogs. You don't think when Hitler dies, his dogs were like, "Damn, Hitler was the best." You don't think his dogs felt like that?
I always got to go back to Hitler, though.
Hitler was
let that man.
You don't
die.
think Hitler's dogs were like, when Hitler walked in the door, they were like, "Yes, he's here, the best guy in the world." You know what I mean? So
are you saying that people? What are you saying?
I'm just saying that even if he died, he still had kids, a wife. Beyond that, friends, people that looked up to him. You know what I'm saying? Like as a mentor, whether you liked him or not, he was still loved by somebody. And for you to mock that, you know what I'm saying? You're basically making fun of everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like the person you loved is not worthy. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how true this is. I heard his kids, his wife were there in the audience and they saw the whole thing. One of the things I saw was that when the gunshot rang out and everybody started screaming, the daughter got scared and instinctively started trying to go to the father. Meanwhile, the dad's laying on the floor over there. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Yeah. Like instinctively, there was a lot of noise. She was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna run to daddy for safety." You know what I'm saying? And that's sad. You know what I'm saying? And you're making fun of this person. Now this daughter, not only did she see it live, for the rest of her life, there's going to be a video online of her father getting killed, and she's going to see it. And then she's also going to see all the reaction videos of all the people making fun of him. She's not a conservative. She's not a Republican. She said nothing he said. And because of these people making fun of Charlie Kirk, now she has to live with this the rest of her life. None of this was her fault.
Yeah. Let's stick to this point. Let's stick to this topic here about the people's reaction towards this. One of the things I was thinking about also on my way over here was this whole notion of celebrating someone that you disagree with, celebrating their demise.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, I wonder how many people, even now, if it had been that bullet was an inch or two to the left or the right, in Butler, Pennsylvania, with Donald Trump, how many people would have celebrated or will celebrate if it, God forbid, had happened now?
Yeah.
And to go right to the core of the topic, this goes into like, where's the heart or the morality for the basic humanity that we're supposed to have for each other? And what boggles me is that the left generally is always the one that's promoting equal this and people and the poor, the immigrant, the small people, the minority. For anyone to be cheering, it's like, where did we lose our patriotism? Where did we lose this sense of like we are one people?
Yeah.
Where did we lose that along the way? And quickly it's like, you see the pointing fingers, one side, and I'm only pointing at the finger of the people who have the mic, the politicians who have the microphone, the leaders who have the microphone. Was Charlie Kirk a divider, in your opinion?
Me?
Yeah,
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think again, when I watch him, when I hear him talk, he's not saying I don't like transgenders and that's it. He's explaining why he disagrees with it. So that shouldn't bring an emotional response. It should bring a response in your mind to think, okay, what is his arguments? Do they make sense? Why is he saying that? Not immediate emotion. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not what he's bringing to the table. He's not bringing emotion to you. He's bringing logical arguments, and he wants to have a conversation. He wants you to think about this, so we can go back and forth, and we could come. Maybe there's a middle ground. When you have emotions, there is no middle ground. You're yelling, I'm yelling. We're going back and forth. We're gonna be mad at each other. We're not gonna talk to each other. There is no middle ground. You know what I'm saying? It's not until there's a dialogue we can work something out. But I don't want to blame left or right, but you see this a lot where they're like, shut them up, shut them down, don't let them talk. And the other side is like, no, let's talk.
Yeah.
You know, you don't see a leftist doing what Charlie Kirk did, what Steven Crowder. Remember Steven Crowder?
Yeah. Change my mind.
He didn't do none of that. Ben Shapiro does that too. Where he goes like an audience and he asks his questions. You don't see anybody on the left doing that, right? Can you think of one
that does that? No,
they don't really do that.
No,
you know. But the right is like, let's have a dialogue, and the left is like, no, you should feel a certain way, but feelings leads to this.
Yeah,
you know
the left has a message but doesn't want to hear what you think. The left, the politician leaders, the image I get is that we know what you want. Hear me out. No, Don't tell me what you want. Let's not discuss it. I know what this group of people want. I represent these group of people.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what to think.
I'm going to tell you what to think.
Yeah.
Or my party, my people, this is what they want. This is what they think.
Yeah.
This is what they stand for. They're with me.
And you know what? You also see that with the...
and the right does that too, but there are so many in that party that are like, no, hold up. I agree with some of this, but some of this I don't.
Yeah, but even let's look at Charlie Kirk, right? Just recently, over the past few months even, his position on America and Israel has been changing. You know? He doesn't agree with Trump on this issue. He helped Trump get into office. And he's having in his mind, he's having a reconsideration. Yeah.
Conflict of interest.
And he's having that thought process live in front of an audience, saying, I don't know how I feel about the situation now. They're kind of taking advantage of us. They just bombed Yemen. So you're saying America needs to get involved in this now? In another country's war? There's nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
So he's having a conflict in his mind, and he's working it out.
What are some of the things that you don't agree with Charlie Kirk? Because did you follow him? I don't follow anybody.
I don't really follow him, but
follow a soul.
Sometimes he'll come up and I'll watch, and I'm always interested on when somebody asks a question, somebody else's opinion.
So the clips, like everybody else.
Yeah, just
clips.
Yeah, pretty much just clips.
Everyone has ADHD,
yeah.
right?
Honestly, I probably watched more of Steven Crowder's ones because his was way longer.
To change my mind.
Yeah, he would sit somebody with like 20 minutes and have a conversation. Charlie Kirk was like, "Come up, we'll talk for 5 minutes, and then the next guy we got to give room for everybody else." Steven Crowder was kind of like, sit down with me, and we'll have a conversation for like 20 minutes. So like it was different. It felt like we got a little bit more deeper. But even with the little clips that I saw of Charlie Kirk, I mean, I think a lot of things that I don't like, and not just Charlie Kirk, it's a lot of people that do this. Religious-minded people, they do this. Where they kind of make the argument about their faith instead of about the rules or whatever, like the law.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
give me an example.
Oh, so like abortion. Be like, oh, well, God created children and, DNA. Like, that's fine. But they don't want to hear that. The person you're talking to, they don't want to hear about God. Because as soon as they hear the word God, they immediately want to dismiss you. I don't want to hear this. You're an idiot. So you don't go there. You have to go to the DNA. And I've heard him say it before. Where it's just like, he'll have a conversation, be like, oh, when does life start? They're like, oh, they'll say whatever. He's like, so you're saying the sperm was dead? And what about the egg? Was that dead too?
Yeah, and if my favorite one is when he tells the lady, so if the baby doesn't count as a person, then why is the murder of a mother and a baby in the womb charged with double homicide?
Yeah. No, but that's
because that's their belief.
But that's a logical question versus saying, God made Adam. And this, God made life.
So you don't like religious talk.
If you believe it, that's fine.
That's your business.
But if you're having a conversation with somebody that's an atheist, you move that to the side. Like, we can't talk about this. We're not on a level playing field. I'm talking up here, you're talking over here. We have to talk on even ground. So I got to take my religion out of it, and then we can have a logical conversation. And then if I see that you're kind of like, oh, okay, that's interesting, then I'll be like, all right, let me present to you this thing too.
So now I asked a question, and thank you for sharing that, I asked a question about what happens to all the converted, this movement that he sparked up of the youth into this conservative mindset, right? I asked that question.
Yeah.
Here's the other question. What happens to all the, assuming that this individual, the suspect, is a trans person, that's left-leaning, assuming that, you know, they're trying to shut the mouths of conservatives to in fear perhaps that movement may hinder their wanting to express or have rights as a transgender or
Transgender.
what happens to those individuals? What happened to the 15-year-old that's confused about their sex, and they see that this person allegedly who killed Charlie Kirk, they see this person being, you know, displayed all over their phone, all over social media. What happens to that 14, 15-year-old? Do they become scared to express themselves? Do they express themselves even more because they have a champion that's going to make sure that no one's going to hinder on their willing, or they're wanting to express their rights to?
Or maybe they're looking at him like, oh, he's a hero.
Maybe they're looking at him as a hero. What happens to
that kid, Mangione? Luigi Mangione?
Yeah, oh my gosh.
He was a hero.
Still worshipped.
Yeah, still. So maybe that's going to happen to this guy.
So you have a martyr on both ends?
Yeah, I think so.
Because if the death penalty's on there, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, no. It's in
so let's assume he's guilty, and let's assume he gets the death penalty. Does he become a martyr regardless if he gets a life sentence?
Yes, I think so.
Wow.
Because while he's in jail, you know, all these different reporters and interviewers are going to want to talk to him.
Right. Letters.
You know, it's going to happen now. Everybody's like feeding, you know, let's get that interview with him. You know what I'm saying?
$1 million interview.
Exactly. Why did you do it? Well, you know, what made? Because everybody's asking that question. In your scenario, you're assuming he's a left-leaner. I'm assuming he's left.
Yeah. For all we know, he's right.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if he's left-leaning,
for all we know, he's right. Talking about this conservative thing has it all wrong. Transgender is the way. We should be the party of the transgender and the LGBT.
Yeah,
freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Right. For all we know,
his father's a Republican.
Right. And allegedly his father
is the one that turned him in.
I heard that persuaded him to turn himself in.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Let's say, you know, just in the situation, if that was your son.
If my son.
You'd be like, first of all, if you're a Republican and they killed Charlie Kirk, you're like, when you first saw it, you're like, oh my God, who killed? That's crazy. And then your son is like, that was me. Now you're like, oh, my boy.
That's so upsetting.
What do I do? As a father, do I turn you in?
First of all,
or do I say, you need to leave?
There was a Netflix about, I don't know if you saw it. It was pretty good. Not that it was another country where the boy had killed a little girl in school, and everyone was looking for the person. But the narrative that they display is that the boy is innocent, and the family's like, "No, it's not my son. I'm telling you, it's not my son." And you know, halfway through the movie, you're like, "Yo, bro, this little kid didn't do it." Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they show the camera footage of him beating her to death or something like that, and the father's watching it, and it's like raw, and it's like, oh my God, this little nigga's a murderer.
He did it, yeah.
He did it, and it totally changes your perspective of it. I forgot why I mentioned it. How did it relate to what we were just talking about?
Like, if that was your kid, how would you feel?
Exactly. So imagine sitting there and your kid is telling you, I did it. It's like your kid just died.
Yeah.
Your kid just, that's what I got from it.
Regardless,
it's like your kid just died.
Regardless of what you do.
Whether you hide it or if you turn him in,
gone.
He's gone.
Yeah.
You lost him somehow.
Because even if you tell your kid you have to leave and escape and go to Canada or Mexico, whatever, do not contact me ever again. You have to escape and you go live your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Here goes all the money I have.
So if you try to help him get out, exactly, yeah. you lost him.
Yeah, you lost.
And if you turn him in, you lost him.
And then if they find out who it is, as you know,
you're accessible.
Then then now you're going to jail. You know, you probably won't go to jail for as long, but you go to jail. I mean, do I turn my son in? I don't know. I think about when do you remember when these kids set fire to the church? Do you remember that?
You know who you are.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
And my first instinct was like, we need to cover this up now, and we covered it up. And the fire department came, and I was just like, I don't know.
I was sleeping because I took some Robitussin.
Meanwhile, the apartment is covered in water from us trying to turn that fire out. Running back and forth between the bathroom with a bucket. Not with buckets, with pans. Just frying pans, a thin, just whatever we could get. Just fill up anything.
I remember hearing noise and just turning over and going right back to bed. I don't remember anything about the water, about the fire.
So I think I would be like, I'm going to have to turn you in. And I'll do that in about an hour. So you do whatever you want with that information.
I mean...
You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, you're not gonna turn them in that second. You're gonna go through it. You're gonna go through all these scenarios that we just played out, and at the end of the day, you're gonna hopefully come to the conclusion of like, I just lost my son, and then your guilt. Yeah. How did I go wrong?
But not only did you lose your son, even if he gets caught, let's say he goes to jail now, and now your son is, you're a Republican, and now your son is hated by your party.
You're hated.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe not you.
You're the parent.
What does it mean?
Go ahead.
He's crazy. You can't blame a parent for crazy.
But the parent's gonna feel guilty. He's gonna feel guilty.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah, of course he will.
And number two, if he doesn't hand them in, he's gonna be even more hated on.
Yeah.
So all these things are bang, bang.
But that's what I'm saying. You gotta be like, I'm gonna have to give you up. But I'll give you an hour. I'll give you 2 hours. I'm gonna go for a walk, and when I come back, if you're home, I'm going to call the cops. So I'll be gone. I got to go shopping. I'm going to give him some... it's my son. I'm going to not give him a chance.
To do what?
To escape. To run away. To go figure it out.
You are trying to do those.
I got to.
I'm going to go check the mail. If you're not here...
Yeah. I got to.
Wow.
I got to.
Damn. I'm trying to think about that for my son.
I can't be like, go to Mexico. He goes, I'm too involved. I'm going to jail forever. If I be like, oh, he was here, I went to the store, when I come back he was gone, so I called you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a little bit of, oh, well, he was going to turn him in, he just wanted to go to the store real quick. Like, I'll just make up something like that. Not like I gave him all my money. Now you're accessible. You know what I'm saying?
And a suitcase.
Yeah.
Full of candies.
But, I'll tell my son straight up, like, you're gone. Like, don't talk to us, don't contact us. Because, they're going to, if they're looking for you, they're going to monitor us. They're waiting for you to call us. They're waiting for you to call Titi. They're waiting for you to call anybody.
Yeah.
Just disappear. Fudge. Change your name. Go learn a new language. Disappear.
Not the new language.
Yeah.
That's a lot. A lot.
But I don't think this guy... I mean, nobody deserves to get shot like that. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I also, too, like, what did he really say that was that wrong?
It wasn't what he said, in my opinion, as much as what the message was starting to produce. I mean, did you see the crowd of people that was there?
Yeah, it was a lot.
Okay, I mean, if he technically helped Trump get into office by getting the
definitely helped Trump get into office.
Okay, he 100%. Definitely. You're certifying that.
I know it because the college age.
Your son is like, yeah,
the college,
you idiot.
The college age voted was the most that it ever went Republican, ever.
So,
and he was the one that would go to college just to speak.
So it was the effect of his words, of his perspective, that's changing the vast majority of. So as a flipping it on the other side, I'm being threatened. Like, we're gonna go back to the what? Now you guys are gonna bring the yardstick and you're gonna start whipping us in class?
Yeah, you gotta do that. Yeah,
you're gonna start freaking.
Well, the thing is,
capital punishment.
Corporal. When they hit you.
Yeah, when they hit you, yeah. Corporal. What's capital?
Capital's when they kill you.
Oh yeah,
that's what's gonna happen.
That's what's gonna happen to this guy.
Yeah, but you know what it is though. I think, and this is why I think
horrible.
This is why I think what he did was important, because he made you think. He's like, I'm gonna give you my opinion, and I'm gonna tell you why I believe it. These are the facts. X amount of percentage. There's this amount of this, and And you're like, okay. And he's like, look it up. And that's why the Steven Crowder one was good too, because Steven Crowder would have a book, a binder, with all the facts. So he would open it up. He goes, look, this is from the Department of Justice, and these are the statistics right here. So I'm not making it up. You can look it up yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I liked. Things like that. It makes you think, oh, okay, well, if maybe the way I feel is different than the facts, I need to change the way I feel. because the facts are not going to change. You know what I'm saying? The way I feel about things, I can change. You know, but I can't change facts. You can't change numbers. You know what I'm saying? So that's why things happening in the colleges. Kids are hearing facts. They're like, wow, I didn't feel like this before, but now that I see that the facts are different, how could I...
My feelings are changing.
My feelings have to change. Yeah, I'm not going to be wrong forever. I can't be wrong forever. I got to change the way I think.
Am I willing to die on this stick?
Yeah. Am I willing to die for something that I know is wrong?
Right.
Nobody does that.
People who are older and set in their I'd rather be wrong than look wrong.
Yeah.
Or admit that I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, those people are...
I deal with that with people our age and in their 30s. I deal with that all the time.
But those are the ones that were emotional in college.
Those are the ones that were taught that the answer isn't wrong. It's how are you feeling about the answer.
Yeah.
So you have a bunch of those that don't know how to separate their, like you said, their feelings from what they're seeing in front of them. And that's a dangerous recipe for violence, period.
So, okay, so let's just say...
So you got two martyrs. We agree?
Yeah.
You got two martyrs.
Well, we don't know yet. We don't know where he falls at, this kid.
Where he politically and
he's just a kid. He's 22. He never voted in his life.
22?
22. He never voted in his life.
Holy
So we don't even know who he voted for. So we don't even know how he feels.
We're assuming all this.
The only thing they showed is in like 2017, he wore a costume for Halloween that he was sitting on Trump's shoulders.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But that could mean anything.
Daddy?
That could mean that. Or it could just mean like, oh, I'm riding Trump. Haha, look, he's scary.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know. Also, 2017, how old was he? He was a teenager. He doesn't know anything better. He just thought it was funny.
22.
You know what I'm saying? He probably just thought it was funny. So
Wow.
you can't say he's a Republican because this. He's just making fun. Trump is funny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
making fun of
he's
Trump
just
is
making
funny.
fun of Trump is funny, yeah.
No matter where you stand. Yeah, exactly.
But if he was right, I mean, look, whether he was right or left, one thing for sure, he was crazy. Right? Because only a crazy person does stuff like that. A sane person doesn't do stuff like this. You know what I'm saying?
A sane person doesn't do stuff like this.
Yeah. Right? This is somebody that's ideologically captured. They're locked in, whatever it is that they believe in, 100% they believe. They're willing to die on whatever hill they believe in. And he believed in something, and he went to go die on that
But
hill.
is it one of those things that's like, there's three of us here, and let's say there's one other person, and us three agree that we're being oppressed. And the only option is to destroy the one that's controlling the narrative.
Yeah, but is it true?
Is it one of those? It is not about is it true. It's like who's the majority.
But that's the leftist mindset.
But no,
right
but
there. It's like we believe that we're being oppressed, so we got to do something about it.
But isn't it more about the numbers? Like, it doesn't matter who's being oppressed or what. Why? I'm sorry. It doesn't matter why the depression is happening.
Yeah.
The oppression is happening. Right. You got Group A and Group B. We're a society at the end of the day. So my thing is, if this side has more numbers, then that's the one who writes the history books. So, and if they manage to conquer their oppressors, then that's the story now.
Yeah.
They were the right ones. That's the way of life. That's how we see things. Is it one of those things?
No, because let's say it's us three, and we believe we're being oppressed, and we decide we're going to do something about it. We're going to shoot them, right? We're going to do whatever. What are the facts, though? Well, just because we believe we're being oppressed doesn't mean we're actually being oppressed. It could just mean that we're lazy, and we never actually went to achieve anything, so we felt oppressed.
Okay.
And they're telling us, you need to get a better job. And we're like, I can't get a better job. I have a mental illness.
Oh.
Right? It could just be that. I can't. Who told you got a mental illness? Why are you believing in that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. What about this scenario? This scenario is okay. Back to us three. You guys are there's us three, and this is what we represent as society. We all agreed that, it's immoral to cut down bananas because bananas are going extinct. It's immoral to cut them down, and I don't agree with that. I think that they're for our taking, and it's something that I need, and I'm gonna eat the bananas, and
we're telling you can't cut them down.
You cannot, and but then I get, the second person on my side, And he agrees with me.
He's like, taste the banana. He's like, oh man, they are really good.
They're good. He's like, you know what? You're right. Screw the bananas. Eat all of them.
Yeah. That's Adam and Eve you're telling the story. And we know how that turned out.
Shut up. That's not the story. So is it because he and I, the 2 out of the 3, now we're the majority, and that's what we are now. So that's it. This is what it is. We got to get rid of you.
And then I tell you, it's not good to eat the bananas. They're going to be extinct. A few years down the line, guess what happens to the bananas?
It doesn't matter.
They're going to be extinct.
I don't care. We're now the majority.
I know, but later on in the future, is going to be seen, oh, he was right.
Right, but I'm trying to stick to the point of my comment. The point of bringing this in is that isn't the majority of whatever is ethical in society, isn't that what wins over, not what actually is? The majority that had an idea that thought it was good or it was moral or it was just was Hitler and the Nazis.
Wait a minute. Think about what's happening in colleges now, right? The majority was saying, hey, it's about how you feel. There's a million genders and all this, right? We gave it a chance. We let you guys eat the bananas. And now we're seeing the bananas getting extinct. So now everybody else is looking like they were right about the bananas being extinct. We need to change the way we think. And that's what's happening in the college. Well, you guys wanted to feel a certain way and blah, blah, blah. Now we see how it's wrong, and now we need to fix that and change it. Oh, he was right this whole time, this guy. So we need to fix what's going on. We need, little by little, we need to step into this and fix it. And that's what's happening in the colleges.
What do you think is the result? I know I asked this before. Are people going to be afraid to speak up?
I don't think so. I think people are going to feel more bold.
You think people are going to be more bold?
Yeah. There's a guy, and I don't even like this guy.
Okay.
I think he's funny. Nick Fuentes. We the one that watched the Deer Black Panther. He's looking at the field right now. He's like, the major player is gone. It's time for me to step up and get this money. Right? Because now everybody's looking for the next conservative commentator. And he's like, that's me. I'm the next big dog coming up. Right? Because Candace Owens is dealing with that. What is that?
Israel?
Not Israel. Remember, they're suing her.
France
is suing her. Whatever, Macron. Yeah. So, and then Ben Shapiro's old news. Right? All those guys are old news.
Ben Shapiro is old news.
They're the old guard.
Old guard.
Right? We look at them like, yeah, you guys are great, but, we need a young guy here to say
We need a new young guy.
Yeah. And Nick Fuentes is the guy. Nick Fuentes...
He's a little wilder, though.
Exactly.
With the tongue.
Charlie Kirk was very tame.
Very...
And then now, if you're going
to... He matched levels.
Yeah. And now you get Nick Fuentes don't match levels. He has the extreme. He don't care. He'll say whatever he wants on his mind. You saw the videos I sent. He says some crazy stuff. And he's going to be the one... I think he's going to be the next guy to be nice and loud for everybody.
Is he the next person to be, God forbid, assassinated then?
I don't know. I think...
And is that the price for freedom of speech?
Yeah. That's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes, yeah.
You just said that.
Yeah. If you want to put yourself out in the open for people to hear, there's going to be crazy people that are going to be like, he got to go.
That's the price.
That's the price.
And this is why our portable microphone is still in the car.
And all politicians know this. All of them know this. And that's why they have something called Secret Service. They all know this. They all know that if we go out and say something, there's going to be a crazy person that doesn't like it and they're going to come after us.
So...
That's why they don't,
Messed up question coming.
Here it goes.
Here it goes. Because I'm on a hole. There was $100,000 award for anyone with information leading to the arrest. Does the dad get the $100,000?
He should get the $100,000. 100%. He should 100% get that. Yeah. I turned my son in. You're not giving me nothing. I'm getting the $100,000.
Wow. Side note, just to throw random little tidbits there. A man died in prison, serving a life sentence, but came back to life and argued that he should be freed because he served his life sentence.
I think he's right. I think he needs to get out.
You think he's right?
I think he should get out.
You think he's right?
This is logic.
Judge said, no, bro, going back to jail.
I don't think so. Judge is wrong. Double jeopardy.
Double jeopardy.
You ever seen the video where they charge the guy with the crime, and one of the things they say, they goes, when you die, if you become reincarnated, you're going straight to jail when you're born. Yeah. That's basically what happens to that guy. But let me bring this up too, because we were talking about he's crazy.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's crazy?
The shooter.
Do we know the name?
We do know the name.
I don't
Damien, what's the name? Look it up.
Look it up.
That's why you're here. So the guy's clearly crazy. Okay.
Okay.
Again, only a sane person wouldn't do this. A sane person would rather sit down and have a discussion with you. You know what I'm saying? Try to debate you. That's a sane person. A person that's emotional.
Tyler Robinson.
What is his name?
Tyler Robinson.
That's the name of the shooter. Tyler Robinson. Yeah, that sounds right. People now are saying, "Oh, how do you feel about guns now?"
Right.
How do you feel about guns now?
Such a freaking...
Yeah. My thing is like, you think the people on the right are gonna be like, "No, get rid of guns"? They're like, "No. That what just happened is the reason why we need guns, because we gotta protect ourselves from people like that. That's why we need guns, because those people still get guns and they start shooting us, and we gotta protect ourselves." But and I'm gonna bring this back to something that happened actually earlier this week. You saw that guy that stabbed the girl on the train or the bus or whatever it was?
Oh.
Right?
Right. We were going to talk about that.
He stabbed... Yeah, we're going to... Things happened. But, so we changed the topic.
A lot of things.
But I'll bring it up.
Right?
He stabbed her. And then within seconds, she died. Okay? She looked at him in horror. She didn't know what was happening, obviously. All she knows is she felt pain. And he must have hit her artery or something, because she bled right out and died right there on the spot. Just like Charlie did. Charlie died fast.
Charlie died fast.
That was a fast death. It was... It's almost like he got shot in the head. How fast he died. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it caught it like an artery, right?
Yeah, it's all the blood from his brain right out. Instant knock. He just went unconscious and died. Anyway, he stabbed the girl, and both people agree that guy was crazy. Right? He was a repeat criminal. Obviously, 14 arrests before that, but for sure
he was arrested 14 times.
14 times.
I didn't know that.
But for sure he was crazy. Okay? You didn't hear not one person on either left or the right, and mostly it's the left that does stuff like this, say, we need to ban knives. We got to get rid of knives. If he didn't have a knife, he wouldn't have killed her. Right? But when it comes to shooting, right away they go, we got to ban the guns. Right? Logically, they know it's a crazy person that did it. Right?
Right.
But they didn't ask for the ban the knife.
Right. In other words, as hard as they're going for banning
the guns, they know deep down inside it's a crazy person. It has nothing to do with the guns. It's a crazy person. It's the person behind the gun. If you look at Damien, maybe you could do this. If you look up all the mass shooters, they were all on some kind of antidepressant or SSRI. Right?
Okay.
So these people... Oh, you got the mouse. I'm telling him to do something.
Go ahead, Damien. You're good.
So if you look up the mass shooters on antidepressants. Let's see if there's a list that comes up. Mass shooting
on anti... Oh gosh, this is gonna be a big thing, right? For RFK and Hizzo wanted to research how many people, because of medications.
Well, that's the thing. We know that it does something, but we don't know what it does. And anybody that does this knows this. Anybody that does pharmacokinetics, I forgot what it's called. They know that it's almost like anesthesia. We know it knocks you out. Ask them if they know why. Nobody knows why.
Right.
We just know that it works, and we keep doing it. And that's how it is with some of these drugs. We know it takes away depression, but we don't know what else it does.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we don't know if it I mean, this is going to sound crazy. We don't know if it takes that depression and kind of puts it in a jar in your brain and saves it. And every time you take the pill, it takes all your depression and squeezes it into that jar over and over until one day that jar breaks. And that depression comes out.
Only if you come off of the medication.
Well, but we don't know. You know what I'm saying?
No, it stays in the jar. Yeah. Just keep staying on the medicine.
But I'm saying let's say you crack, the jar cracks, just now all of a sudden now you want to shoot.
It won't crack if you keep taking.
That reminds me of the shooter. Remember that guy? This years ago. The guy that went to the top of the clock tower in the college and was sniping people.
Oh my god! In like a concert or something, right?
No. This was in a school, in a college, right?
Okay.
The cops came. Obviously, they got him. Boom. This was like in the 40s or the 50s or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm going too far back. The point is, when they went to his house, on a note on his desk, it says that he wrote like I'm gonna die, da da da, and he goes, when I die, please do an autopsy on my brain because something's wrong with me.
Oh, that was the guy. Wait, no. Also, you know who else did that? The guy who in Midtown. Recently, the guy in Midtown that shot the he was trying to go into the NFL headquarters.
Oh, the guy with the freaking IR-15 or whatever, yeah. But anyway, the point is with that guy is when they cut his head open, look, he had a tumor in his brain, undiagnosed. But he knew something was wrong with him because he was having like weird thoughts and things. And it was just something in his brain, you know? What are we looking at over here? Any statistics? This guy with the CNN. Jesus Christ.
Well, AI said that there's no evidence that suggests antidepressants may cause
That wasn't
mass
the
shootings.
question. That wasn't the question.
Mass shootings and on antidepressants.
I want to know the people that shot and if they were antidepressants. I don't want you to tell me what you think. I want to see the facts. Were they antidepressants? Because if you see a correlation, I'm like, okay, we don't think that it causes mass shooting. But look at this statistic. You're telling me it doesn't? Like, there has to be something.
In other words, how many people were on antidepressants that were mass shooters?
Yeah. How many mass shooters were on antidepressants? Oh, here we go.
Wow, AI is like being really.
AI is like, it doesn't cause it. There's no proof.
Stop it.
That's not what I'm looking for. Scroll down, bro.
4% of mass shooters use antidepressants in their life, but
how about go back to the mic?
which is over. Oh, it's answering the question.
Oh, what does it say?
It says right there, low rate of antidepressant use. A study under the review of for publication based on Columbia University's mass murder database found that about 4% of mass shooters use antidepressants in their lifetime. This is far below the baseline rate for the general U.S. population, which is over 11%. No causal link. Experts and fact-checking organizations agree that there is no evidence of a causal link between the antidepressants and mass shootings. Misleading claims suggest otherwise have been debunked.
Go back to the mic. How many mass shooters were in SSRIs?
Multiple scale studies found that the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors and other
What are you reading?
psychiatric medications are used by only a small minority of mass shooters, a rate that is often lower than consistent with the general population. Scientific evidence does not support a direct causal link between SSRIs and mass shootings. Yeah, I mean, so instantly I want to be like, can I see the data?
I want to see. That's what I'm saying. I don't want you to tell me. I want to see it.
Yeah.
This is the same thing as I'm giving you facts, but you're giving me feelings. Don't give me the feelings. Just show me the numbers.
Yeah. The Violent Project, Columbia University Mass Shooter Database analysis of the database found that the lifetime prevalence of antidepressant use among mass shootings predators over for the past 30 years was 4%. For any psychiatric medication, the rate was 7%. These figures are significantly lower than the 11% of the U.S. adults estimated to have taken antidepressants in 2023.
I think I know what's happening here.
The violence... What
counts as a mass shooter?
Oof. More than one?
I think it's more than 3.
More than 3.
Charlie Kirk got shot, right?
That's not a mass shooter.
Wait, listen to me.
Okay, I'm listening.
The guy asked him a question about mass shootings. Right when Charlie Kirk right when he got shot, he asked the guy a question. He asked the guy, are we going to include gang violence or not?
Okay.
Because most of what we put in the statistic as mass shooting is gang violence. Because somebody shot up the club. Right? So they shot up the club, they were shooting wild, they hit 4 people. You know what I mean? And they'd be like, oh, that was a mass shooting. That's not a mass shooting. That was 2 people, one person trying to shoot another person, he missed. He shot 3 other people. You know what I'm saying? That's not a mass shooting. So you're counting it as mass shootings, but they're not. And now I wish Charlie Kirk would have finished that sentence, because now I want to hear what he has to say about it. Because actually, hold on, let's see if we can find it.
Good.
I need put me up there. Give me the mouse, bro. You're sleeping over here.
What do you mean sleeping? I'm trying to get shit done over here.
All right.
You gonna ask a question? Go ahead. It.
Charlie Kirk mass shooting. There you go. I'm gonna see what he says. When I say no, that's engagement student about transgender. No.
Go to AI mode. See what it generalizes for it.
Where's
Top. Next to all. Loading.
Conservative activists. Here we go. The stuff that I don't want to know about.
Kirk's views on mass shootings on gun control. Second Amendment right. Kirk was a staunch defender of the gun rights and the Second Amendment. In 2022, he argued that some annual gun deaths were the cost of liberty.
Hold on, pause that for a second.
Who's
Okay.
pausing?
Okay, listen to me. Let's highlight this so we can talk, and the audience can look at it. This is another comment that was taken out of context. When he's like, some gun deaths are worth our freedom to have Second Amendment rights. He didn't say murder. He didn't say assassinations. He didn't say any of that.
Oh, that's a good point.
Right?
Yeah, but their argument, them being the other side, whoever they may be, or you, is that this is why we need to get rid of them completely.
Yeah.
Because you eliminate all of that, plus assassinations, plus murders.
The only way to get rid of guns is if every country in the world
we know that. We know that.
Get rid of guns.
We know that, but it doesn't change. It doesn't change the fact that that's the argument on the other side. So, and it's almost like they're saying, "You see, you wouldn't have died if you were in support of these gun rights."
So what he's saying,
it's like,
what he's saying is this: sometimes somebody pulls out a gun and aims it at somebody, and they get shot and killed. That's not a murder. That's somebody defending them. That's a gun death. It's not a murder. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that needs to happen in our society.
A gun death.
Yeah, that's just a gun death. You know what I'm saying? A murder, we shouldn't have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what he's talking about here.
Right.
He's not saying, well, sometimes we got to deal with murders for us to have guns. Nobody would say that. We don't want murders. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes bad people do bad things and they get shot. That's a gun death. You know what I mean? We don't want people mass shooting. You know, somebody going to the top of a roof and shooting up the music festival. That's not what we're talking about. That's murder. You know what I mean? Charlie Kirk would never advocate and be like, oh, sometimes people need to shoot up the club for us to have gun rights. He would never say that.
Yeah. That's
outside of his character. That's somebody taking him out of context and putting their own thought on it. You know what I'm saying?
Isn't that like a crime to say something like that?
What do you
to incite violence?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, you would be crazy to say something
but also
like that.
Charlie Kirk wouldn't advocate for that. To say sometimes we need to have mass shootings, sometimes we need murderers, just so we can have our guns.
His solution for gun violence, according to this AI, is he repeatedly suggested that increasing the number of armed citizens was the most effective way of reducing gun violence. The final public comments, wild. Listen to AI. The shooting occurred while Kirk was being asked a question regarding the number of transgender individuals involved in mass shootings. In a tense exchange, he made his last public remarks on the topic just moments before he was killed.
And the shooter was?
Allegedly transgender.
And I heard a conspiracy that the person that was asking the question probably knew the shooter. So he asked the question on purpose so he could get shot while he was answering it.
Wow.
That's rumor.
That's rumor.
But that still doesn't answer the question. What we asked her. I assume the AI is a woman. Is that all right?
Right.
Gemini.
All right. So final thoughts. What do you where do you leave off with this whole mass shooting? Do you think he should get the Medal of Freedom?
I think the president should do whatever the president wants.
Yeah,
to do. I don't think it's that important, guys.
Yeah. Right.
Whatever.
It's not going to change it.
Yeah. If people that have a problem with that, what was the name of the last guy that got the Medal of Freedom? What was his name?
His name was
They couldn't tell you. Right? Give me the last five. Any of the last five that got the Medal of Freedom. They don't care. They don't care unless it's somebody they don't like.
Yeah.
They don't care. So why are we even talking about this?
Fauci.
Yeah. Donald Trump put it on his neck and buttoned it. I think it's sad that he died in that way. I don't think he deserved it, honestly. I haven't heard him say anything outrageous that deserved any. I don't think anybody deserves to get shot for sounds they make with their mouth. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much it makes you feel. You know what I'm saying? If I'm making a sound with my mouth that you don't like, you don't have the right.
You don't have the right to shoot me just because I made sounds out of my mouth
that you don't like.
But I should be able to. You should be able to go to jail if you say something out of your mouth.
No, you should be able to come to me and be like, hey, I don't like that sound. Please stop. Or let's have a conversation. Like, oh, why are you making that sound?
But we just agreed that it's law if you incite violence or the death upon someone.
Yeah,
that's a crime.
Yeah, if you call for violence, yeah, for sure. but do that. Call the cops and be like, hey, he's inciting violence. Then they got to go to court and they got to prove it, right? And if they prove that you were wrong, and now he's free. But there's a you don't shoot him. You know what I'm saying? I feel bad that he got killed. I don't think he should have got killed like that. I feel bad for when anybody gets killed. When Osama bin Laden died, remember when we were in Park Slope? I remember everybody talking about it. I was like, guys, somebody went to hell and we're celebrating it. Think about what we're doing here. Right? Because there's a church talk. We were in church at the time. And I was like, oh my God, Osama bin Laden died. Yay. And I'm like, yeah, that is kind of a relief. That, okay, he's done. This is over with. But also,
you felt bad for Osama bin Laden.
I did feel bad for Osama bin Laden. There was a conversation I had with Danny in the church.
I was like, you still feel bad for Osama bin Laden?
No, I feel bad when anybody dies without Christ. I think that's bad. That's sad. So I'm like, think about what we're saying. We're saying he died, he went to hell, yay. That's crazy.
Is that the same thing as the people who are cheering the death of Charlie Kirk?
Yeah. I mean, these people have no.
But he's going to heaven, so
100%. He's going to
so
heaven.
yay.
He's probably going to come.
No,
back.
hold on. According to your logic,
yeah,
he's going to heaven, so yay.
Yeah. No, of course. That's what there should be a celebration that he's in heaven. Absolutely.
That he died.
No, that he went to heaven.
That he went to heaven.
He shouldn't have died at that age.
He shouldn't have died.
No, not like that. He shouldn't have died in front of his kid, in front of his family. It's not. He didn't deserve anything like that. Again, he didn't say anything that was to the level of being like, we got to kill this guy. It's not like it was making a Hitler speech. Hey, he never said we need to kill the transgenders or we need to kill anybody of any race. He never said anything like that.
Right.
He was just saying, I don't agree with your lifestyle and I think you need mental health. Which, if somebody told me, hey, you're a little crazy, you need some mental thing. If enough people told me that, I'll be like, man, maybe I need to go to the doctor.
Yeah, but you're crazy. You're not going to agree with it.
Yeah, that's true.
How many times did we tell you you're gay and you don't go get checked out?
Well, how do you get that checked? Blood test?
You gotta get a what do you colonoscopy? Duh. There, check your insides.
Yeah. But I think it's sad that he died. I don't think he deserved to die. I also think that, of course, both sides, and specifically I want to talk about the left, they're gonna use this opportunity to bash
who?
The people on the right. Now how do you feel about guns now? You know what I'm saying?
And the right is going to bash the left for
raising a crazy person that kills people. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what happened. If the father was let's say let's just paint the picture of the father. He's the best man, the best father in the world.
He's the best.
The best dad, right? Eventually the kid went to college and learned this weird ideology from college and got captured and decided, I got to kill this guy. Right? Because you can't control what people think. As much as you want to teach your kid a certain way, eventually he's going to go in his own world and he's going to learn new things and he's going to want to make his own decisions. And there's nothing you can do as a father. You can be the best father in the world. There's nothing you can do about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't blame the dad. Whatever the kid did, he wasn't under he wasn't under 18. When he's under 18, you could kind of blame the parent. Like, what were you the whole time? When they're an adult, it's kind of like, what are you going to do? That's a grown man. You know what I mean? I told him the best I could and he did what, he got captured by these crazies. So he went to a cult, right? Because that's what happens. People get captured with like a cult.
In recent history, mass shooters have identified on which side of the aisle. In general, there are no defined political patterns among mass shooters, as their motivations are complex, blah, 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 blah. Right-wing extremism. In 2023, a report by the Anti-Defamation League found that all ideologies motivated mass killings in the U.S. during 2022 were committed by right-wing extremists.
Where you see that?
The same report...
Highlight it, bro.
The same report... Am I right? The same report noted that a disproportionate number of killings perpetrated by white supremacists
in
in 2022, including The radically motivated mass shooting of a supermarket in Buffalo. Remember that one?
No, I don't.
Gosh, that was horrible.
Oh,
Went
wait.
in.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I didn't even know he was right wing.
Mass shootings at the LGBT nightclub in Colorado Springs in 2022. And in 2017, the mass shooting in the congressional baseball practice targeted Republicans.
Wait, hold on. Let me say this.
What are they saying?
Let's pick one of those two.
So they go to they do the right, and then in the bottom is the left.
Yeah,
so we're doing the right.
Pick the right one. Pick one of those two.
Okay.
Let's say the Buffalo one.
Okay.
Okay. How many people on the right, after this happened, were celebrating that?
God, that's a great question. I don't know.
How about the one at the nightclub? How many people on the right were celebrating it?
I want to say none.
That's LGBT. So you know the right feels about LGBT. It's wrong. You shouldn't do that.
It's immoral, right?
It's immoral.
Okay.
But how many of them celebrated that guy did that?
I mean, am I gonna?
I'm sure there's at least
at least two.
At least two.
I would go as far as saying at least two.
But nothing at the level of what we're seeing now. With the left. Right?
Okay.
It's literally everywhere. People are celebrating it. That Charlie Kirk got killed, right? The right doesn't do that. You have one or two people, and kind of because they're on the fringe of society, they're kind of like weird, like, oh, that person's a crazy. That's why they're celebrating it.
Okay, you done with this side?
Wait, what's that?
Anything else you want to mention on the right wing extremism side? These are all right wing that did shootings.
Yeah, but see, I'm also questionable when it says white supremacist. What's a white supremacist?
What is that?
Exactly.
What is it though?
What is it?
Stop. Tell me what it is.
You tell me what it is.
We're not doing this. Just define Google. Let's ask Google.
What's a white supremacist?
Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go.
What's a white supremacist?
Ooh.
A person who believes that white people constitute a superior race and should therefore dominate society, typically at the exclusion or the detriment of other racial and ethnic groups. Okay. Now that we read the definition, can you think of anybody in the right wing that believes this? That they believe that white people are the best and they should dominate society, typically at the exclusion or detriment.
Donald Trump.
No, but really, can you think of... let's go down the list. Think of right-wing supremacist or right-wing guy.
I mean, there was a guy... There's a guy.
Who?
He was on an episode of PBD. He was like straight up, like, this is it, the white people, and you could tell PBD was like frustrated, like, bro. And
PBD is considered on the right?
No, PBD is considered. Yeah, he's considered on the right.
And he was looking at the right wing guy like, this guy's nuts.
He's nuts.
Yeah. So
he was trying to tell the guy that you're a white supremacist.
And for people that don't know,
and he was like, no.
PPD is the guy that did the 20 versus 1.
He is not American. He is not. He's the farthest thing from white.
And you would think, okay, if people want to paint the right wing as white supremacist group, PPD is white. You're telling me PPD is white supremacist and Candace Owens are white supremacists?
Right. Okay.
And how many other black conservatives that we see YouTube videos? I forget their names, but you're telling me they're white supremacists?
Yeah, no. Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, what does it mean? They label people on the right white supremacists that don't even believe that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but they just call them that.
But you got to say that at least 1 or 2 shootings were white supremacists.
I watched a video recently that somebody asked. Oh, actually, one of the guys from PPD. I forgot his name. Not the one that told him to shut up. The other guy. Not Adam. What's the other guy? Vinny was talking to a lady, and she was like, "Did you wear a mask during COVID?" He was like, "No, I didn't wear no mask." She's like, "Well, then you're white supremacist."
And he's not. I said that he's like.
Look it up. Look up. Actually, just put it in the microphone. Yeah, click the mic. Vinny from PPD called white supremacist.
Vincent Oshana.
Go. You gotta say it. Go ahead. You know his name. Do it again. Go ahead.
Vincent from PBD called white supremacist. I didn't make it.
You told me his last name and you ignored it. Vincent Oshana called white supremacist. He's talking to a lady. Go down.
I'm a Syrian. He's a Syrian. I said he was Persian.
Oh, he's Syrian?
He's a Syrian. I put that on the episode. I corrected myself.
Oh, you did?
I did. You don't know this because you don't watch our show.
I don't. Let me see the mouse. I can't stand it.
You can't stand it?
I gotta control it.
See, that's a conservative right there.
Is it Vincent called white supremacists for not wearing masks during COVID. See, this is all
Listen,
wrong.
all right, that's great.
All right.
Where were we getting at? Go back to the first tab. So we got the right wings, and again, I'm sure one of those shootings was by a white supremacist, right? At least one. We could argue at least one of these people was a white supremacist.
Well, but you have to give them that because we don't know their ideologies, like what they really think.
Right.
Like the guy that shot
But
up.
to assume that none of them were white supremacists.
Yeah, that's not it. That can't be it.
That's not it.
Like the guy that shot up the concert.
What about the guy that went and shot up the black people at the church?
White supremacist.
Boom, we found one.
Well, maybe.
Or the church?
At least racist.
At least
minimum.
racist. Bare minimum.
At least racist.
Nah, at least.
Minimum. I would say he's white supremacist.
I would say that one for sure.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just
Because
about the church.
That was part of his reason why.
Yeah, it wasn't just any church. It had to be
a black church.
A black church.
And they prayed for him right before he did that. You know that?
Wild.
It was like a prayer circle. They prayed for him, and he's like, "All right."
Is it messed up to say that prayer didn't work?
No, it's not.
Your face.
Well, they didn't pray for him not to shoot up the place. So
be specific now.
Yeah, exactly. If a white kid comes into your church by himself, you got to pray for that.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Okay, all right. All right, let's go to the left.
But let me say this too.
Okay, all right.
The right wing also has issue with certain things, and one of them is, let's say, George Floyd. When George Floyd died, the left wing was like, "Oh my God, what a horrible tragedy!" Da da da. But the right wing was like, "He was a crackhead. What are you guys crying about?" You know. But it went from that to almost mocking him dying, George Floyd. And even to this day, there's a lot of that stuff online, kind of making fun of him that he died. You know what I'm saying? So the right does it too, but I don't think it was as extreme. And also, Charlie wasn't a misfit of society. You know what I'm saying? He was kind of an educated person trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
On the other hand, George Floyd was an addict that died during an arrest.
If it was,
and depending on what you believe in, the coroner didn't say that's how he died. He said that he died of a drug overdose.
Yeah. If we posed the question, if Trump would have died, would Democrats or left-leaning people celebrate? We agreed that some would.
Absolutely.
If
There'd be a holiday.
Obama died, would the right celebrate? I have to say no. Yes.
I want to say no.
Wow. Whoa.
I don't want to say no.
Hold on here.
I wouldn't say no.
Completely no.
I don't think so. I mean, obviously, you're going to have your fringes of weird people that do. But I think for the most part, people are going to be like, that's sad.
Okay, what you're saying is that you're comparing the numbers. You're not saying that it's not going to have anybody.
No, I'm saying the majority of people are going to be like, that's sad, a president died.
Okay. So
as much as I didn't like Obama, you see this all the time when people die. I don't like him, but it's still sad that he died.
You're saying that the left, the Democrats, would have celebrated more had Trump the other party.
Bro, when Trump got shot in the heel, they were excited. They were saying he should have died. Right?
Damn, that's wild. That is wild.
They were saying that. I wish he would have shot a little bit more to the left or whatever. I wish Trump didn't turn his head. Remember they were saying things like that. And it wasn't the fringes. There was a lot of people saying that.
And no one's calling these people out.
I mean, they don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care. And this is why I feel like when you ask me, what do you think people are going to be like with Charlie Kirk, and I feel like, they're going to be more emboldened because they're going to be like, they don't care, we shouldn't care. They're killing us.
Did you hear that the actor from Guardians of the Galaxy, what's his name? The main guy?
I forgot his name.
He's like loved. Are you kidding me? This guy's...
Yeah, he's from The Office. Parks and Rec.
Anyways, he offered his prayers to Charlie Kirk, and they were like trying to remove him from the Marvel franchise.
That's crazy. You should. I don't care who dies.
That's what I'm saying. No one's checking the left on their craziness.
Again, let's go crazy. If Hitler had kids, and Hitler died, and I was like, I'll pray for his kids, bendito. They lost their father. You know what I'm saying? They're just kids. They don't know no better. All they don't know that Hitler's whatever. They just know I lost my daddy.
Right.
My prayers go out to those kids, those poor kids. They will be like, "Oh, get them off the Marvel franchise." I'm like, I don't even act in Marvel movies. So
I've never even seen one.
But
you idiot.
that feels like a human response.
So no
You
one's
know?
gonna call out that the left, not all yous, I'm not left or right. No one's gonna call out the left for some of them walling out. You're not gonna check your own. You want a hug? What do
No,
you
I
want?
want the mouse,
Baby,
bro.
come here. I got you. No one's gonna call out the left for the insanity, bro. If I'm a Republican, and there's 3 of us here, we're all Republicans, and you're doing something stupid, I'm gonna slap you behind your head, like, yo, stop it. We're representing over here, you freaking. That's what I would tell them, using that word.
You can't use that word because they block us.
They do?
Yeah.
Oh crap! Now I'm gonna have to mute this out. Great.
Hold on. Let's see if.
You just have to censor it.
Hold on. Give me the screen here.
Are we allowed to show this?
Okay. Yeah. If they whatever, they'll just block us. All right.
They'll just
This
block us. Who cares?
This is the left.
Okay, real quick. What is happening?
They're smelling their own farts.
I gather that.
Okay, so that's what the left does. They
Oh.
love the smell of their own farts.
The left love the smell of their own fart.
Yeah.
If you should might as well hold on
I
to it.
should,
You're
yeah.
sure you're so addicted to it.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted hugs.
I need another.
now I need a hug. So okay, the left.
The
like
point is, you ever heard a rappers said this a lot when we were kids? You act like your shit don't stink. You ever heard that term?
Oh, hell yeah.
That's the left.
Excuse me.
The left is like that.
They act like their shit
Yeah.
don't stink.
And not only do they act like their shit don't stink, this shit smells good.
You smelled it?
They believe it.
Oh yeah.
They fart?
They're about it.
Oh, it's so good. And you're like, that stinks, bro. Get that out of here.
Okay.
I'm being logical about it. And you're like, no, I got to prove you wrong. I'm going to smell my own farts.
You went so hard on the right wing extremists. We haven't even got. You went so hard on that. Let's go back to that screen, Damien, please. Let's go back to that screen. You went so hard to the first one, the first tab. You went so hard for the first one that we haven't even gotten. I don't even want to know what you want to say about the left extremists. The first tab, the first one.
What do you mean the left extremists?
We we lost it.
There he goes.
Right here, boom.
Oh, left
wing
extremists.
We didn't even get here yet, and
All
you
right, let's go.
murdered them.
Let's go.
They're
Wait,
dead.
hold on. Let's see one.
There's no point in reviewing them. You murdered them on the right side. You murdered them. Go ahead. Far less common in recent history. The question was, in recent history, mass shootings have identified on which side of the aisle? Left-wing extremism. Far left. While far less common in recent history, some acts of political violence have been attributed to left-wing extremists. In 2011, the shooting targeted by Republican Gabby Guilford, a Democrat. 2022, there was an attack on husband of Republican Nancy Pelosi.
She's not a Republican representative.
Oh, representative. My bad. Politically motivated violence. Overall, political violence have become a growing concern in the United States, impacting both Democrats and Republicans as a political. Wow, it's like they soft blew.
I know.
It's like they soft blew.
Meanwhile, we all know that Democrats was the one that started political violence. That wasn't the Republicans that started that. Right? Who's the one that killed Abraham Lincoln?
A Democrat.
Democrats. They're the ones that started this. Right? I wouldn't be surprised if the guy that killed Martin Luther King was a Democrat. I would not be surprised. I would like to look it up right now. Who killed Martin Luther King? Let me see the mouse.
Yo, I told you to keep it. I don't know why you keep throwing it back at me.
You love when people throw it back at you. Oh,
Whoa, ladies and gentlemen, que sucia. You heard it here, guys. He is
All right.
very
Hold on,
dirty
David,
with
let me
his
get this.
words.
Let me get this.
And it's inappropriate at this point. You should report, block this channel.
Let me just get it over here. Give me this. I'll just ask her.
Yeah.
James Earl Ray political stance.
Nope.
Not available. James
AI
Earl
mode.
Ray.
Information.
Oh, not available.
That's weird, huh? Let's see what she thinks.
Loading.
White supremacist.
We found another one.
Yeah, Alabama governor. He motivated assassination. Political beliefs. He supported George Wallace. Is George Wallace Republican or Democrat? Let's find out. This should give us a little bit of answer. George Wallace, Democrat or Republican? Democrat.
Democrat. Bow.
Oh, lost it. Is this it? Oh, right here. He had admiration for Hitler. Wow.
Wow.
So segregation views make sense because the Democrats were big on that. Segregation. What the hell is this one? Rhodesia. To flee to Rhodesia, modern day Zimbabwe. Wow. Oh, it was ruled by an oppressive. Oh, that's why. I'm like, why would he want to go to Africa?
To do what?
He killed Martin Luther King and his plan was to escape to Africa.
Because.
And I'm like, why would a white man, a white supremacist, want to go to Africa? And it was because this country was run by an oppressive white minority government at the time.
At the time.
So he was like, oh, I'll fit right in.
I'll fit right
I'll
in.
rule him.
Ugh.
Finally, I'm back, baby.
That's wild.
Imagine if he would have made it out there.
That's wild.
He'd have lived his whole life.
He would have killed more.
Probably, yeah.
He would have killed more, tortured them.
He was he's probably a Democrat, but he was probably motivated more by race than anything else, it looks like.
Right. Then party.
Yeah.
Then party. Guilty by association? No, not the same thing. Got it.
But still, they killed Lincoln and they killed Martin Luther King. And they killed Charlie Kirk. MLK. With Lincoln, is that middle name?
Greatest assassinations.
Greatest assassination? Now we're going to rank them?
Yeah.
All right, guys, get ready. Your best assassination. What's your favorite one?
Not the favorite one.
The best one is JFK, hands down.
Number one. Number two?
Charlie Kirk is number 2.
Wow, this guy worships him. Even your son was like, damn.
That was a crazy thing to see.
But because of technology and where we are now.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I saw a stupid video where the guy was like, it's a fake. Look, the bullet.
Oh, yes.
The letters in his shirt. And then, what happens to his hair? Why does his hair
there was one where right before he got shot, there's a guy standing next to Charlie Kirk, and he does one of these. He kind of like...
Yeah, and then another guy with the arm, he was like fixing his sleeve.
They're like, oh, you give him the signal.
I thought we were watching baseball for a second. So you're saying JFK?
JFK number 1.
RFK?
I don't know what it looks like. I never seen it.
Oh, okay. JFK number 1.
So, but if JFK is because we saw it, visually insane.
Because he was a president.
Forget about being president. That's an insane kill.
Wow. Okay, so
right?
you're going by worst type of kill.
Oh yeah, I thought we were going to.
I'm going politically, like impacting society.
Oh, JFK number 1, hands down.
Okay, number 2, RFK. Then
I would say Lincoln. Lincoln, yeah, because
okay, I got that.
Lincoln was a Republican. He wanted to get rid of slavery and all that crap. The person that took over for Lincoln kind of forced Jim Crow laws in the South. He kind of allowed that to happen, and Lincoln would have not let that happen.
Okay, so you got JFK, Lincoln. Then next,
political assassination. Got to be Charlie Kirk.
It's not even political, just impacting the world.
We don't know the impact of Charlie Kirk just yet. It's got to be a few years before we look back.
Let it go for a second. We'll get back to Charlie Kirk.
All right.
Number 1, you got JFK, Lincoln. Number 2, number 3, rather.
Who else got killed?
Martin Luther King.
Yeah, Martin Luther King. Was that
that impacted the planet?
Yeah, but to do what?
Anything that just made the top. If you mention JFK, almost anyone in the world is gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that was the president that got shot."
Yeah.
Lincoln.
His wife grabbed the brain. Off the back of the car. You saw that?
Yes.
She reached for it. She's like,
Lincoln. Most people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, the president also got shot because he was trying to."
Okay, so MLK.
Martin Luther King, Civil Rights Movement.
What about
Martin?
No, I was gonna say Malcolm X, but yeah, he got killed. It was sad. But what came out of it?
Right, but that impact, like, do people know? You know what I mean?
Well, the government. We know the government.
Who's 4th?
I don't know if we're gonna go that far. I don't know. Can you think of one?
I think 4th. I think we named the top 3. That's top 3, pretty much it.
But if we're going by visually, JFK, Charlie Kirk is number 2.
Wow.
Charlie Kirk is number 2. And then visually, who else got killed that we saw that was like, wow, that's crazy? I can't even think of a third.
That we saw that got killed?
Yeah.
Oof, no.
Honestly, if Trump would have got killed that day, he would have been on that list.
Oh, he would have been
Because
on
how long ago that happened?
A year ago?
That was only a year ago?
Only a year ago. The
I
annual.
think it was the 21st.
No, because he was
It was in the summer, bro.
he wasn't president yet when it happened.
It was in the summer last year. He wasn't president last year.
Calm down, Grover. This guy turned into a Sesame Street character.
You jealous? I hear it in your throat.
But if he would have got killed, we would have seen the impact by now. It would have been crazy.
Yeah, for sure. I can't think of. That's another thing. Is it a political assassination? People are arguing it's not a political. He's not a politician. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, can we scratch the technicality and call it for what it is? It's an assassination on live TV.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have this. You and me.
And we haven't even seen the clearest video yet, because when he does these events, he records himself. So that organization has HD 4K video
Up
that
front.
we haven't seen yet.
VIP.
We only seen people in the crowd recording with their cell phones. Imagine the cameras that were facing him.
That's why I want to get your camera to do the cooking, because you want me to use my phone. Idiot.
Phones are better.
They're not. They're not.
What the hell was I doing here?
So, all right. So we went over the leftist side, and it seems a little washed. I'm not even gonna front.
Charlie Kirk. I keep going. Just ignore me.
Okay. No, I mean, I don't know. You're distracting me with your clicking over there. So you have two martyrs that come out of this, and it's fair to say.
Well, we don't know if the kid's gonna be a martyr yet, because we don't know what he falls at. Maybe he's a Republican.
My
we can't put it past him.
The people will eat. The left will eat
I don't
that up.
even think they hear that.
What?
What do you mean? You think if he was Republican, yeah.
If he was Republican, the left are going to be like, "Oh, that's your own."
I told you, guns would make you crazy.
Yep, this is your own party, your own thing. You guys are eating your own crap. Does it quiet the people to answer the question for me to answer the question? Does it quiet the people that are currently advocating their views, whether you're on the left or the right? I think it puts a hint of doubt, a hint of fear in anybody's mind. I'm this person like Nick Fuentes is like, I got this opportunity, like you said, to step up in the mic, but do I really want it now? Am I willing to die for this? Was Charlie Kirk willing to die for this?
Well, I mean, Charlie Kirk was outside, and these guys, they might not do that. They might just be like, I'm just gonna stay in here in front of the camera.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but this is safe here.
My safe house. I'm not gonna go out there.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, is it fair? I think it's fair to say that most people who are,
this is
what?
Do you know who this guy is?
No.
Okay, so I'm not gonna tell you.
Don't tell me. Keep it a secret. I don't care. I think that most people who are outside interviewing, asking questions, going to rallies, I think that they're gonna be a little hesitant to do it.
I hate your freaking keyboard is missing some letters.
Why are you doing this to us?
I don't even know how to stop this right now.
I always tell you to keep this thing muted, right. And what happens? Never listen to the boy. Yeah. See, now you just press this little button right here.
Well, I don't want to hear any of this. I just wanted to look at him.
Oh,
so look at the camera here.
Go ahead.
Somebody has a video of him getting shot like this.
Yeah. Oh, that was your whole point of this?
That was the point, yeah.
You wanted to show people that's going to be in 4K?
You're the one that's getting distracted by things, yeah.
Yeah, by you distracting me with the most irrelevant point, you idiot. All right, we'll leave it at that because his ADHD is kicking in, guys, and he hasn't taken his medication. So we're just going to leave it at that. Final thoughts, anything you want to add before you go? Do you think he should be flown around and this all this, flags at half stands? That
was Trump's boy.
Right. So
of course Trump is going to be like, these are my people. I'm going to
hook it up for them.
If Trump wants to pay for it out of his personal money to get things done, that's fine.
But
it shouldn't be the government paying for it.
He was flown around in Air Force 2.
No, but he got flown around because J.D. Vance went to go see him.
Oh, so you might as well catch a ride.
So the whole thing with him driving and all that, as the vice president, you get this thing anyway.
Right.
He's like, I'm going to ride with them, so we need this to be protected.
Yeah.
By default, you get it. It's not like we're giving it to him.
It's not I didn't make the trip over there.
Yeah, it's like, I'm doing this, so you have to protect me.
Yeah.
So I just happened to have this.
There's an extra chair.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna sit him down, perched up.
Wow. This is the same guy that's praying for you to go to heaven, guys.
You're the one that said he's in an extra chair.
I think that I think the niggas are gonna hate. I think that's what that is.
That's what they do.
They're gonna hate, and if it was on the other side, I don't think the Republicans would complain as much.
No, there's gonna be your fringe that are gonna be like, yeah, good, he died or whatever. But for the most part, Republicans are like, oh, that's.
But at the same time, I've seen videos of Republicans or who look like Republicans or conservatives, putting videos out like, this is war. We're gonna get you. You're gonna pay for the like.
Oh yeah, because they shot him in the head or whatever, the neck. When I saw him get shot, my first thought was like, this is the beginning.
Both parties are blaming each other for inciting violence. Notice that no party is trying to quiet or educate or quilt their own side from violence.
I don't think you listened to Charlie Kirk before. He did do that.
Political leaders, the people that we voted.
He was a political activist. Maybe. I don't know who.
No. None of them are.
Let's question.
Like, remember when Trump was Trump with the whole January 6th?
Yeah.
What did he tell them to do?
Stand down and stand by.
Stand down and stand by.
He's calling for peace.
I mean, did he say go and attack the Capitol?
No, absolutely not. That's another crazy thing. It's like he never said that.
He never said that. He said stand. Exactly what you said is what he said. Stand down and stand by.
In fact,
be ready. Don't do shit.
On the schedule was to go to the Capitol building and do a protest. It was on the schedule, so everybody knew that was going to happen.
Right. And
right before everybody walks out, he goes, go down there peacefully and let's protest. He even says that. And they went, they wilded out.
So on the other side, I'm sure there's probably an example, too, of some political leader, someone who's in office representing us, the people, saying, don't do this, don't wild out. We need more of that. We need more of, if you're going to go to a protest, if you're going to go to a speech, if you're going to go to a college campus and debate, they also bring the temperature down. I don't see enough of our leaders, people who are getting paid government dollars. And that's on both sides. I don't see enough of that. I see the finger being pointed. I don't see enough of the people of those leaders actually taking the next step and saying, we need to, like, if we're supposed to be the example.
But there's definitely people that were saying that this is not a time for us to fight. That everybody needs to lower the temperature.
On both sides, but I'm saying, now after the fact.
Yeah.
Like, it should be something moving forward. That should be like the narrative moving forward. We got to be able to tell our young people, the people in charge, the elder, we got to be able to tell everybody that this is not the way of doing it. This is not how America runs. This is not how we should be running things. We're never going to get anywhere with this type of mindset. And, the next generation is watching. And all those people that follow this Charlie Kirk is looking at this like they're either going to be really upset or they're going to be quiet to it, numb to it. What do you...
I'm trying to type letters on this keyboard, but they don't type the...
So grab the other keyboard, you Nazi here. Give me.
It's not even... I can't even press the letters, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't even write the letters.
So... I don't know. Our leaders really need to step up. If they're the ones that are behind the camera, I feel like they should. I don't know. I feel like they're responsible for a lot of this stuff, bro.
The political leaders.
Yeah, all of them, both on both sides.
I think so. I think they're both.
When I think of, like, you're about to show Maxine Waters, when you think about so many of them, even Trump, like, sometimes he'll say something that can be taken out of content. When they say let's go fight, I don't think the word fight is a good word to use because someone who's young is like, fight means my fist. Yeah, they're not understanding fight with your voice, fight with your opinion, fight with your vote. They're like, fight means fighting.
That's the thing. That's what Charlie Kirk did. He fought with his voice. Like, we got to go a step further and explain and be specific. Damn it, I can't find it. I know what she looked like in the video.
You know what I
She
mean?
looks like this, but then
They probably took it down, bro.
Yeah.
This is what they do. It's almost like, you know, it's so good to have screen recordings of everything you witness, because you don't know when it's gonna be gone. Final thoughts, people. What you got?
There's a fourth time you said final thoughts.
I know, the fourth time, and I still haven't had one final. Why are you doing that? You're gonna press mad things, and
It's not even
bro,
working.
stop. It is, yo, bro. This guy is retarded. I said it again. Now I gotta block this moment out because this guy is beep.
You're concerned about things that are not happening yet.
I'm concerned with things that will. I'll be preemptive.
Stop the violence.
Just like my last insight, I'm trying to be preemptive. Our politicians should be preemptive and watch their mouths, because some people are going to misinterpret what you're saying and take it for a call to action, and that's going to lead to more stuff. Is this going to be the last shooting? Absolutely not. I think we're in for, I hate to say it, in for a whole round of wilding out. Because a lot of people that are in support of whatever this guy's agenda is, there's going to be people that are with that agenda. And they're going to be like, I could be this next superhero that took down the opposing side.
He dropped the flag.
He dropped the flag. I'm picking it up and taking the side. Just like with Charlie Kirk, his mic was dropped. Someone's gonna pick up that mic and continue the whatever their mission, their goal is. So I don't think it's over. I think this gets worse than it gets better. I know, and it sounds like a pessimist, but it's just because of the mindset of where some people are, where it's just so emotional that they can't even express themselves or come to terms with their own feelings.
I think this is more than anything I've ever seen happen in the past year. Even with the riots of the COVID riots for George Floyd and all that, even that wasn't enough to feel like it was going to be a civil war. But this felt like I could see somebody retaliating.
Are we headed to civil war?
I don't know. I don't think so. We're not. The Civil War happened because it was literally divided by territories. We're all mixed in together. So
yeah, there's no lines.
There's no lines. So there's going to be a lot of like terrorist activity, like like political terrorism, like that guy that just shot Charlie Kirk, things like that. Lone gunmen. You're going to see a lot of that going on. I'm just afraid somebody on the right, because you see, I don't know, like you said it. People on the right is like, I got my guns. I'm ready to go. I'm going to go do something. I feel emboldened by watching this guy. So now I'm going to go kill one of their people. You know? And there's a list of people on the top that we know right away. I can name 5 people right now that I can imagine that the people on the right would want dead.
Fuentes.
No, I'm saying people on the left that the people on the right would want dead.
People on the left that the people on the right would want dead.
Yeah. Right? I can name 5. I don't want to
Al Sharpton.
Al Sharpton.
I guess not. Sorry. Can you
no,
name
but like Mandani.
Oof.
He's a big threat.
You
right
think there's a Republican out there like he gotta go?
Yeah, there's probably, or even AOC.
Oh my gosh,
Right?
you're right. Bernie.
Maybe Bernie. To them, Bernie's old, and they can see that the Democrats don't even want him. So why would they even bother? They'd rather go after Maxine.
Time will get him.
They would rather go after Nancy Pelosi than anybody else.
Time will get her too.
Yeah, no, time is coming for her.
Time is getting them.
Yeah, I would have loved to see her response. I wonder.
And it's gonna be the same.
Nancy Pelosi's response to Charlie Kirk. Fancy. Makes unbelievable announcement. What?
23 hours ago.
Oh, that's something. She's
2 hours ago.
She's giving news.
Kirk, people don't have any intention of saying something that's going to lead to something. What? Pelosi said.
I don't know. What's this say?
We're going to X.
This is. Oh, this is him talking. How is he alive?
No, Patriot.
Oh, look. Okay, look. This is a good one right here, actually. Let me hear this.
You gotta press play for it to work, Papito.
And why is he still in jail? Why has he not been bailed out? By the way, if some amazing patriot out there in San Francisco or the Bay Area wants to really be a midterm hero, someone should go and bail this guy out. I bet his bail's like $30,000 or $40,000. Bail him out, and then go ask him some questions.
He was talking about the guy that attacked Nancy Pelosi's husband. He's like, somebody should bail him out and ask some questions.
Yeah, interview him.
But I don't know if you saw the video of this is totally different, but the guy that got, he was in his underwears or something like that.
Okay.
And people are like, why is he in his underwears? Either he's crazy and showed up in his underwears, or you guys were doing something while Nancy Pelosi was out of town, and you guys had a little fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so a lot of people were suspicious, like, why are you two men in your house in your underwear? Because he was in his underwears too. They were like,
yeah, what was?
So they're like, what the hell was going on? Did you guys have like a little argument? Nancy Pelosi was out of town, and you alone with this guy in the house. What the hell's going on?
Yeah, word. Damn.
But whatever it was, they did their job when they kept it quiet. So we don't know.
It'll always be between them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And Nancy Pelosi said, what did I tell you?
I told you that
There has to be no gay shit.
almost destroyed us.
Let's just destroy everything. Yeah. Speaking of Nancy Pelosi, I follow her stocks, and it's making my money.
It's making my money?
It's making me money. It's actually working. Who would have thought? Every time
Who
she
would've-
buys, I buy, and I'm making money off
You're
it.
making money.
Who would have thought?
That's good. I mean, who would have, right?
Working.
Who made
She's
it
an amazing freaking. What are they called? Whatever those people call that buy stocks. She's doing fantastic.
Investor? No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Trader.
Her portfolio. What does her portfolio look like?
A trader.
Nancy Pelosi's portfolio. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, trading activity. Let's see. Whoa, look at that growth. Look at that growth, bro. Insanity.
When did it grow specifically?
From 2014, it was under, well, how many million is this? 1.5 million, right? That's where she's at. 2024, she was at 17 million. In 2005, right now she's at 4 million. So either she's selling or not buying enough or whatever's happening, because it goes down. It goes back up. This is between buying and selling. Her total trade volume is, wow, $164 million. That's insane. That's only with 182 trades.
So who was in office when she made her big bucks?
Ooh, good question. 2002? Who's that? Biden?
Yeah.
Yeah? 2020, Biden made it in office, right?
Yes.
In 2024, Trump got in?
She got elected, but she wasn't in office yet. Same for her.
Oh, wow, yeah. These are Biden's years. The biggest growth is on Biden's years. That's insane.
Interesting.
So you know they're stealing from us.
And you're profiting.
Yeah.
And you're profiting. So you don't care.
Well, to be fair, I follow the Republicans one too, but they don't make me as much money as Nancy does.
Oh, okay. So it's okay now.
Who's the one of the Republic? Oh, Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is the Republican guy that does it. Insider trading. We all know he does it. We might as well.
Oh, so Ted Cruz is the Nancy Pelosi on this side? On
Yeah.
that side? All right. Let's leave him with this one. See if it loads up.
But it was hilarious. Just watch this little snippet of our Prove Me Wrongs, our viral cultural domination on prime time on Comedy Central. So important, so impactful that South Park is highlighting. Watch it.
I'm sick of people stealing my shtick. If anyone around here is going to be a master debater, it's me. So let's go. Who wants to debate the master debater? Let's go. You right there.
That's the stupidest haircut I've ever seen.
You are wrong. Leviticus 3:17 says it shall be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings. So you can shut up, baby. You just hate America and you love abortions.
Not only that, but Jeremiah 1:5, I made you in the womb. South Park gets this right. In fact, I think they've been watching a lot of Charlie Kirk videos. Watch.
Oh my God, what makes you think you have the right to say what I do with my body?
Let me ask you something. If a pregnant woman is killed and the baby dies too, why is the killer charged with a double homicide?
Well, because people have different beliefs.
He does this.
It's not about
Drinks
belief,
water.
it's about truth. Science confirms life begins at conception. So yes, Jeremiah 1:5 says before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, but it's just morality that demands we protect the most vulnerable.
And we got our own award show as part of South Park. I was told going in, Charlie, if they say your name, that's a big win. Well, apparently there's the Charlie Kirk Awards.
Hello and welcome to the 3rd annual Charlie Kirk Award for Young Master Debaters. More and more young people today are learning to fight for America through master debation. We're here to honor the recent efforts of a brave young man who has been furiously master debating for the past several days.
Now, there's going to be a lot said about this, but we need to have a good spirit about being made fun of. This is all a success. This is all a win. We as conservatives, we have thick skin, not thin skin. And you can make fun of us. It doesn't matter. And until next time, I hope all of you also become master debaters for truth.